It's go time.
What you don't want to do is stop paddling.
It's off limits. I'm charting a course into one of the world's deepest sea caves.
It's pretty shallow in here, so watch out for rocks.
It's a honeycomb of caves winding through a rugged shoreline, an island chain locked in prehistoric times, containing 13,000-year-old human remains. It's just miles from America's second largest city, but it feels like a whole different world. Located along the coast of Southern California, the Channel Islands National Park consists of 5 islands covering nearly 250,000 acres. The islands are just a short ride from the crowded beaches of LA. But today, just like in 10,000 BC, the only way to get access to their hidden treasures is by paddling.
See, there's some wave action there, guys. It might be a little bit large. Yeah, we're going to skip that part. We don't want to get dumped out of our boats quite just yet.
Expert guide John Dresser and National Park Ranger Bill Faulkner are going to help me get a rare glimpse at the island's awesome landscape and endless sea caves to see why they've been called California's Galapagos.
You've got a lot of geologic features here, are very unusual and only found out here. There's basically fault lines or weak spots in the rock. The waves come down from the northwest and they slam into those northwest-facing cliffs and open up the rocks. It's wave erosion.
So how many caves are there?
There's about 130 sea caves.
With hundreds of sea caves dotting the coast, it's hard to resist venturing in.
See that rock formation ahead of us?
Yeah.
That far left, there's a big hole that goes all the way through called the Elephant's Belly.
But John reminds me that it was the sheer power of the surf that created the caves in the first place. So the bigger the cave, the more dangerous it is.
You want to go to the right side of that rock.
The right side, okay.
The left side is shallower. And what you don't want to do is stop paddling. Just keep on paddling, all right?
The largest swells ever recorded in Southern California struck the Channel Islands, and rogue waves can strike at any time. So as I enter, Ranger Faulkner will watch my back.
Man, that's extraordinary.
A lot of energy happening here.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
This is wave erosion right here.
But the powerful forces of Mother Nature have been forming these islands for millions of years. During this time, the Pacific Plate slammed into the North American Plate, creating Southern California's east-west ranges, including what would become the massive island of Santa Rosa. After the last ice age, the sea level rose, separating Santa Rosa from the mainland, and eventually dividing it into several smaller islands. Centuries of powerful surf carved away at the islands, creating an incredible and extensive cave system, including the second longest sea cave in the world, extending 1,200 feet.
It's pretty shallow in here, so watch out for rocks.
The result was a beautiful, rugged archipelago, isolated from the rest of the world, not unlike its southern counterpart 3,000 miles away.
Just an amazing array of animal life out here. It's not unfair to compare them to the Galapagos, right?
Not at all. Well, we have 145 plants and animals here that exist no place else in the world. All of those animals got across the channel here somehow.
How did that happen?
Well, a lot of them are washed out to sea, and if they're lucky enough to grab onto something that floats, they're washed further out into the channel.
Yep.
And if they're super lucky, they land and survive.
I mean, there were mammoths out here, all kinds of things back in the day.
But they swam out
Okay.
here.
Whether it was the extinct 5-foot-tall pygmy mammoth, a distant relative of the woolly mammoth, or the endangered island foxes, many of the 2,000 species found here evolved in a completely unique way. In fact, 11,000 years ago, another species found its way here by crossing the Santa Barbara Channel: humans.
It was the center of the Native Americans that lived here, the Chumash.
How did they get out here? I mean,
They had canoes and they paddled out here.
The Chumash Indians were an advanced society who navigated the islands on 25-foot redwood canoes. Relics of their sea-based economy provide the oldest evidence of seafaring in North America. But even these expert watermen took great care when venturing into these massive caves.
So you ready to go for the big cave?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now, everything's got to change wildly with the tides, right?
It does, yeah. So when the tide's lower, you get bigger breaking waves.
So this is a high tide right now.
It's a medium tide coming up.
Medium, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's extraordinary. You don't have any idea when you're riding up to this island, you know, in a boat, how much intricacy is along the shoreline.
Now, you can't really see until you get into a kayak what kind of caves are available.
With no airports and no roads, the Channel Islands National Park can only be explored by boat or on foot. If you're willing to risk the journey, you can catch a glimpse of California's Galapagos and explore an island chain that time has all but forgotten.
You can see some of the most magnificent scenery in your life and do some of the coolest you've ever done.